Hello art friends, today we are going to have some art fun with math by creating an addition and subtraction board game. First you will need to gather your supplies. You will need your math board game template. I printed mine on cardstock so that it would be a little more rigid and hold up a little longer so you can play the game many times. You also need player marker pieces. For this game you can play with one or more players, there's no limit. You need 2 dice and you also need 2 color crayons for the art portion to create the board. First, we are going to do the art portion of creating the board. You will choose 2 color crayons and create a quilt pattern on your board. Make sure when choosing your design that you use both colors and pick a design where the colors can be spread out throughout the board. You will hear more about this later. There are many different ways that you can design your board. Each square should be filled with one of the 2 colors, and the entire board needs to be colored. In mine, I played with the idea of mirrored patterns. So if you look at the top, bottom, right, and left, they are all a piece of the same design. So it turned out to be a fun geometric X pattern. When you're doing your coloring, make sure that you pay close attention to the borders of each square. One thing that can help is to carefully and slowly make a thick line along the borders and then fill in the middle of the squares with more rapid coloring. This helps to make sure that you don't go over the lines or mix colors in other squares. Remember, you need to cover the entire board with color in all the squares. When you're finished, you will have a nice quilt design. After you have your entire board covered, it is time to make the color key. At the top of the board, draw 2 small squares, one for each color that you used in your quilt design. Label one of the squares addition and the other subtraction. This is what you will use to know where to move your markers when playing the game. Now it's time to play. Here are the rules. First, place the game board in the center of a table. The youngest player will go first. Roll the dice to get on the board. Every time you roll to get on the board, you will be doing an addition problem. So for example, here you will see the player 1 rolls a 6. He puts his marker on 106. Now it is the next player's turn. Roll the dice and get on the board the number of spaces rolled. Continue this until all players are on the board. Pay attention to which color you land on and if it is an addition or a subtraction square. Now we are back to player 1, and they are going to roll the dice for their turn. Here you can see that player 1 was on a blue 115 square. Blue is an addition square color in my board. Player 1 rolled a 7, so you will add 115 plus 7 and end up on square 122. If player 1 had been on a red square, which would be subtraction, then he would have gone backwards instead of forward and subtract 7 from 115. Keep taking turns. When it is your turn, roll and move forward or backwards the total number of squares rolled on the dice. It is okay to land on the same square as an opponent. Just remember, if you land on an addition square, you will go forward on the game board. And if you land on a subtraction square, you will go backwards. Keep playing until one player lands on or past the number 200. They are the winner. Feel free to come up with some extra different rules for the game to challenge your math skills, and most importantly, have fun. Thank you for making art with me, and check out our website for more fun and artsy projects and ideas.